There's an old story they tell in the mountain towns of Aldaran. They say a man once walked 1,000 miles to find the thing he wanted most, only to learn that he had been carrying the door to it the entire time. This is that story. And though it wears the clothes of a fable, every word of it is about you, about the quiet machinery that turns what you feel on the inside into what you meet on the outside. Settle in. Now to Aldaran. His name was Eli, and once, before the wanting took him, he was simply a maker, a craftsman of small wonders, clocks that would keep the hours like a held breath, little brass mechanisms that turned and chimed and delighted the children of the terraces. His hands were patient then. His shop smelled of oil and cedar and the waterfall. I sang through the windows while he worked, and there was Mara who loved the man more than the marbles, who would lean in the blue-tiled doorway at dusk and laugh at nothing just to watch him look up. For a time, Eli had the whole of it. A craft that meant something, a love that stayed, a life with light in the windows. But it was never enough for him, not because he was cruel, because he was afraid. Deep down, Eli did not believe he was enough. And so he reached, for the larger commission, for the patron's favor, for proof, always proof that he mattered. He took on work too grand to finish. He stopped seeing the small wonders. He stopped seeing Mara. And a man who is always reaching past what he holds lets it fall. One gray morning, the doorway was empty. Mara was gone, and the Great Commission, the ones meant to prove him, came to nothing. For a man who needs to prove himself makes nothing well. The shop fell silent. The waterfall ran cold and far away. He was left with the wanting and nothing to want with. And every thought he had begun the same way. I lack, I lack, I lack. And the world, it seems, has long memory for the way we speak of ourselves. It was in that hollow season that he heard of the keeper, a gatekeeper, the travelers said, who lived at the roof of the world and guarded the only gate that mattered. They said what a man wanted most waited on the other side of it. Eli had nothing to lose. So he shouldered a worn pack, set his face to the high peak, and left the kingdom behind. The way up was long and lined with old devotions, stone tables of unhewn rock, small fires on the high ledges, their smoke bending in the thin air. Pilgrims knelt at them and begged the sky for the things they did not have, the way Eli had begged all his life. He climbed past where the green gave way to stone, past where the air went thin and honest. He climbed until wanting was the only thing he had left to carry. On a misted ledge, he met another climber, Corin. Corin was going up to demand, to take the gate by force of his wanting, to seize what was owed. His eyes had a hunger Eli knew too well, for it was his own, reflected back at him. Eli said little and climbed on. But the sight of the man unsettled him, the way a mirror does when you've been avoiding it, and then at the roof of the world he found not a gate of iron or of gold, but an old man sitting quietly before a doorway carved into the living rock. A low fire beside him, the whole green world falls away below. I have come, said Eli, for what is on the other side of your gate. I wanted it my whole life. The keeper looked at him for a moment. Then you will never have it, he said. For a man who wants a thing is a man who decided he does not have it, and the gate only opens to those who have already walked through. Eli did not understand. The keeper had expected that. Tell me, said the old man, when you dream at night and the dream is real, do you ask the dream for permission to be in it? Or are you simply there? I'm simply there, Eli admitted. That, said the keeper, is the whole secret, and it is the only secret. He set his hand against the stone door. This world you walk through, it is not the cause of what you feel, it is the echo of it. The outer is the inner, pushed out. You have been screaming at the echo, boy, trying to change it by force, but the echo cannot change until the voice does. Then how, said Eli, do I change the voice? The keeper smiled. You stop praying towards the thing, and you begin living from it. Do not picture your wish as something far away and wanted. Picture the moment after it is already yours. Not the getting, the having. The weight of the tool back in your hand. The light returned to your own windows. The face of the one who stayed. And feel it, not as a hope, but as a memory. The deep part of you does not listen to your words. It listens to what feels real. What it feels already true. Give it the feeling of the end, and it will go to work quietly in ways you cannot see, arranging the world to match. There is an hour, the keeper went on, when the gate is thinnest, the hour at the edge of sleep, when the body has gone still and the mind has gone soft, when you are not quite awake, and yet not quite dreaming. The old ones call it the state akin to sleep. In that drowsy doorway, what you imagine does not stay. Eli stayed on the mountain for many nights. And at first he failed. He would build the scene, and then like a man who cannot stop touching a sore tooth, he would slip back into wanting, into I hope, I wish, someday. And each time, the keeper would say only, hoping is wanting, wearing a nicer coat. You are still standing outside the gate, knocking. Go in. And below on the ledges, Corin still raged at his own locked door, demanding, bargaining, cursing the silence, until at last he turned and went back down, empty as he came, still wanting. He had climbed the whole mountain and never walked through. And then one night, something turned. Eli built his single scene, the doorway, the bench, Mars laughing in the next room. And this time he did not hope it. He did not want it. He simply remembered it as done, as his, as ordinary. A great quiet came over him, the quiet of a man who had stopped arguing with his own life, and he fell asleep inside the having. Eli awoke, the keeper was gone, and the gate stood open. Not because the lock had turned, but because he had stopped standing outside it. He walked back down into the world. And here is the strange part of the story, the part the mountain towns will still argue about. Nothing magic happened. No gold fell from the sky. Instead, a man he passed offered him work for no reason he could name. A door he had never meant to enter happened to be open. The shop took breath again, and the small wonders turned beneath his patient hands, and a face he had not let himself hope for happened to stay. The life he had begged for from outside had quietly assembled itself around the man who had already lived it from the inside. The echo had finally caught up to the voice. And the door he had carried around 1,000 miles had only ever led home. He understood at last what the keeper had meant. The gate was never in the mountains. The gate was the assumption itself. There are more roads than this one. And if you walk in with me, you'll know where to find me. And what I carried down from Aldaran, the thing that helped me live in the end, I left it at the foot of this path just below. Take it if it calls to you. Thank you for walking to Aldaran with me. I'll see you on the next road.